Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss about the modules of SAP. So this was the question in our last session. What are the two types of transport request? So the first one is customizing request and the second one is workbench request. So the first request is generated when any of the functional consultant do the configurational changes, while the second workbench request is generated when the ABAP development takes place by the any of technical person. Now in this session we are going to discuss about these topics. For example, the functional modules of SAP, the technical modules, and some other modules of the SAP. Okay, let's start with our main content. Let's start with the modules of SAP. So in SAP majorly we are having two types of modules. The one is functional and other is technical. And apart from that we are also having others module which are of functional like techno functional nature or the business oriented modules. Okay, start with some of our functional modules. So below is the list of major functional modules that are available in the SAP, and these are FI, CO, SD, MM, HCM, SCM, PP, and so on. And now on the other side, we are having some technical modules, technical modules like ABAP and basis. Apart from these two modules, apart from the functional and the technical, we are having some other module. Others are like TM, BW, GRC, CRM, PI, PO, MDG, and so on. Okay, let's briefly understand what are the roles of these modules. Okay, let's start with the functional module first, the FI. This is the core module of the finance, and there is a CO which actually tracks the revenues and the cost, and these statements are presented internally to the management to control the cost and increase the profit. And next one is SD, which actually tracks all the things related to the sales part, which is also known as order to cash. And we having next MM, which is known as the material management. The SD full form is sales and distribution. We are having now the material management. So it actually deals with the procure to pay and focuses on the procurement of the material which are needed for the manufacturing process of our organization. And the next one is HCM, which stands for Human Capital Management, which deals with the payroll or the salaries and most of the thing related with the employees. And the next one is supply chain management, which actually handles all the supply chain processes like logistic and everything. And then we are having uh, production planning. So this part usually deals with the internal manufacturing processes. Now next we are having technical modules. These are ABAP and basis. We will later discuss in detail about these two modules. And these are the some of the other module like transport management, which is used to transport the changes from the one system to the another. We are having business warehouse, which actually holds the data. And then we are having GRC, which stands for governance, risk, and compliance. And then we are having customer relationship management. And then we are having process integration and process orchestration. So basically, this is used as a middleware or help in the integration of SAP with the third party interfaces. And then we are having MDG, which is related to the master data governance. Okay, let's start with the FI submodules. SAP FI. So SAP FI stands for the financial accounting. So what SAP FI does is it provides you the financial statements which are used for the external reporting, and these statements are useful for the like stakeholders which are having their stake in the company, and like the banks which are lending you the money, and also the tax authorities which are collecting the tax from your organization. So these are the consent parties which are interested in your financial statement. So SAP FI serves this purpose and help us to recording the transaction and ending up with the preparation of the financial statements. So some of the sub modules of SAP FI are: the first one comes as general ledger. In short, we call it GL. And then we are having accounts payable. In short, we call AP. And then we are having accounts receivable. In short, we call it AR. And we are having asset accounting, which is AA in short. And then we having finally the bank accounting. Okay, let's briefly discuss each of these submodules. Oh, so this general ledger accounting is basically the foundation of SAP FI, because without general ledger you cannot make any of the posting in this SAP FI. And general ledger is something which actually tracks all your transaction. Ultimately, all the transaction, whether they are journal entries or they are flowing from the account payable, account receivable, or the asset or the bank accounting, all flows in the general ledger only. And next comes the account payable. So account payable mainly deals with the vendors, their payment, the invoices, the good received, and everything comes under the AP. And then we are having account receivable, which mainly deals with the receipt from the customers. And then we are having asset accounting, which deals with the acquisition of the asset to the retirement of it. And in between, we are having transfer of asset, depreciation, and everything. And then we are having bank accounting. So, bank accounting mainly deals with the statement reconciliation, which should match with our own maintained accounts. Now we would highlight some of the CO submodules. So CO is actually controlling. So what is the difference between this FI and CO? So CO actually help us to prepare the statements or track the cost and revenue which are presented to the internal management, which takes the decision to decrease the cost and increase the profitability. They try to check in which segment, division, customer, region we are getting good profit and where we are incurring more. So to control the costing and increase the revenue, these statements are prepared and presented to internal management of the organization. So major submodules of SAP CO are cost, element, accounting, and then we having cost center accounting, and then profit center accounting, then we having product costing, and we also having profitability analysis, which is famously known as COPA. Okay, let's understand each one of these in brief. So this cost element accounting actually tracks the nature of the cost or its origin, from where it is like originating, whether it's going in salary, rent, or other expenses. So all of these are tracked using cost element accounting. While the cost center accounting actually tracks the cost from the areas of responsibility in the organization, like you can say from which department, like HR, IT, from which department we are getting the costs. And profit center accounting actually tracks the profitability from the divisions. You might have the number of divisions within your organization. So profitability of each division is ascertained with the help of profit center accounting. And then we are having product costing, which actually help us to set the price of any manufacturing good. So it helps to ascertain what price should be set up for any product. Will it be profitable and how we can set it. And the next one is the profitability analysis. Here, profitability analysis or the COPA help us to identify the profitability through the market segments. Market segments can be in the form of any region, it might be customers or any products also. Let's discuss about the technical modules of SAP. So the first one is ABAP. So ABAP actually stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. So actually this is, you can say, the background or the brain which is actually functioning inside the SAP, which actually provide you the result, do the processing, and everything is done in this language only. This ABAP is the language, a programming language in SAP. So it majorly functions on the RICEF. You would have heard it, RICEF. We will see each component of it. So in RICEF, we are having W, we are having R, we are having I, we are having C, we are having E, we are having F. Okay, now comes the W. Now W stands for workflow. So what does it mean? Workflow actually relates with the automation of the process. For example, there is a requirement that business wants if any of the parker is like parking any document whose value is exceeding like 1 lakh. So it should go to some approver. For example, there can be multiple level. So it should go to the level 1 approver. If it is exceeding 10 lakh, it should go to level 2 approver. If it is exceeding 50 lakh, it should go to the third level approver. So this workflow can be set up with the help of ABAP. Now, second is R. R stands for reports. So reports are the like collection of data, okay, or the reports are the records. So there might be a requirement from the business. They want the sales report along with the credit limit available visible in that particular report. So that custom report can be developed with the help of this ABAP programming only. Next is I, which is stands for interfaces. Interfaces. So SAP often interacts within the SAP also, and it also interacts with the third party interfaces. Okay, so the connection, actually the interface is set up with the help of this ABAP. And then we are having conversion. So where do we need the conversion? Conversion is needed when we are migrating from the legacy system to SAP, or we are migrating from SAP to S/4HANA or the latest version. So in this case, we need the conversion, and it is done using the ABAP. And next we are having E, which is enhancement. So enhancement can be related to the including authorization, including any of the additional column in the standard program or in the standard report. So all of these enhancement are done using the ABAP. And final we are having F, which stands for forms. So forms are the actually layout or the printout or the output which we get, okay, and these can be in the form of SAP Adobe or SAP Forms or SAP Smart Forms. So with the help of these forms, we can set any of the layout of any report or the pages. So this is done with the help of ABAP only. So now the next is basis. Next is basis. So what basis done is, firstly let us write its full form: business application software integrated solution. So actually this basis is mainly responsible for managing the overall system administration. Okay, so all the installation related things, installation related things cover under the basis only. Let me give these some space. And then we are having upgrade activities. For example, in SAP, we are having time to time upgrades. Okay, so all those upgrades are handled using the SAP basis. We are having database related things. So if we are having memory things, we want to upgrade it, or there are some issues, all comes under the basis scope. And we are having connectivity. So if we are having latency issues or if SAP is slow, these are also identified with the help of basis only. So this is the small overview of the SAP modules. Okay, let's jump to our question section. So the first question is modules, like which module is used for integration and acts like a middleware. So which module is this? I think I have already covered while giving the brief of this module. So the answer would be PIPO. Answer would be SAP PI PO. Okay, now we are having second question which I want you to give the answer in the comment section. We are having the second question which I want you to give the answer in the comment section. So the question is which module covers the transport request movement across systems. Okay, thank you. We will meet in a next session.